Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're taking a first look at Combat Mission Black Sea, a game developed by Battlefront and published by Slytherin. This is a game that actually came out a few years ago, developed by Battlefront themselves, but today, in partnership with Slytherin, they are releasing the game on Steam. We did play a little bit of Combat Mission Shock Force 2 a couple of months back when that came out on Steam, and this is the second game by Battlefront to come to Steam. They're obviously working on bringing the Combat Mission series to Steam. Now, Black Sea is an interesting game in that it's another modern combat game. They will be eventually bringing their World War II catalog to Steam. But it's another one of the modern combat games like Shock Force 2, except in this one, it has some more conventional fighting in it. So Shock Force 2 is kind of like a Persian Gulf style game where the US and NATO allies are invading Syria in a hypothetical conflict there. In Black Sea, the United States and NATO forces will face off against the Russian Federation in a conflict in Ukraine. Now, this wasn't inspired by the actual war that broke out in Ukraine. This was actually under development prior to that coming out, but it was kind of interesting that a conflict did break out in Ukraine, around the time frame they were working on this game as well. So, obviously, thankfully, NATO has not really directly gotten combat forces involved in Ukraine. That would be bad for everyone if the US and Russia started actually shooting at each other directly. But that's kind of what this game is going to simulate. So we are going to start a campaign today, and we are going to start Campaign Task Force 369. Now you can see here there is a Crossing the Dnieper campaign, which is actually a Russian campaign where you command Russian forces crossing the Dnieper. Task Force 369 is the battle I've chosen. I haven't played Black Sea before, but I chose this one because it said you're leading an armored fist in a task force, so it seems interesting. Probably a lot of tank-on-tank combat, I would imagine. You can see the other campaign options in here are the charge of the Stryker brigade, which is obviously going to be a U.S. Stryker force. The push from Dnipropetrovsk, which I'm assuming is a Russian unit because it looks like you're leading the forces of the 205th Motor Rifle Brigade. The Shield of Kiev, which is sort of, I'm assuming, a little bit of asymmetrical warfare where you're commanding Ukrainian tactical groups attempting to counterattack Russian forces. And then a training campaign, which is, kind of more of a tutorial. So we'll go ahead and jump in with Task Force 369. I have not played this at all. Skill level, blah. That's pretty low. I guess we'll go with veteran, maybe? Yeah, we could go with warrior. I'd probably lose. We'll go with veteran. And we'll play in real time. So you can see here the situation. We've got a little bit of map of Ukraine up here in the top left. The screen will expand to the full size right now. It's just for whatever reason the briefing screens are in much smaller resolution. Our mission, Higher Headquarter Mission 1, or Mission 1st Armored Brigade Combat Team conducts offensive operations to halt the Russian advances north in the vicinity of Balatizervka. Task Force 369 attacks southeast to block Russian advance on North Highway East 95 along the eastern outskirts of Belyateverskia. Commander's intent, relieve pressure on Kiev defenses by containing the Russian breakthrough in central Ukraine. Task Force 369 will aid in this goal by blocking advances along one of the major highways leading north. So you can see here, it is July 2017. We're south of Kiev, 3rd Battalion, 69th Armored Regiment, Speed and Power. The NATO expeditionary forces sent in June to bolster the defense of central Ukraine have been outnumbered and outflanked by the Russian crossing of the Dnieper River. Russian forces have achieved a breakthrough in the Kirovorod, Cherzirsky, area as meager Ukrainian and NATO defenses have been bypassed or brushed aside. Okay, so they've wheeled north and begun advancing toward Kiev. So Kiev is being advanced on. Our goal is to stop them. You can see our formation will consist of one headquarter company, 2 rifle platoons with Bradleys, as well as one. Okay, so actually we've got 4 companies, it looks like, each with 2 rifle platoons and Bradleys and 1 armor platoon. Charlie Company actually has 2 armor platoons, 1 rifle platoon, but that's sort of the exception. Charlie and Delta Company. We also have combat engineer platoon, manpad platoon, and an artillery battery of M109A7 Paladins. Okay, due to the high threat environment posed by Russian ground forces, all of your Bradley IFVs and Abrams are equipped with explosive reactive armor. In addition, platoon and company command vehicles are protected by an off-the-shelf trophy active protection system purchased in the months leading up to the deployment. You know, I wonder if that's even possible. I know the Americans have been trying for a long time to get like an arena-type protection system to protect their tanks against anti-tank guided missiles, and I believe they've had a whole bunch of problems trying to actually get that stuff to work, even though it was sort of off-the-shelf technology. In any event, let's go ahead and jump into the battle, and we'll see the screen pop out here to a full size here in a second. Okay, so here we are on the map. You can see it kind of loading in here. A lot of trees, very different than the Shock Force 2 map. We can see here we've got, looks like we've got what looks like one Humvee sort of on the left flank. I think that's what I saw, with a scout team in it. And then we've got several other troops on the other side of the map. Looks like we've got a cavalry fighting vehicle, an M3A3. Isn't that Bradley the M2? In any event, it looks like a Bradley. And then we've got what else? Jeez, I can't even see any of this shit over here. So we've got another Humvee over here. I'm assuming we're going to get substantially more reinforcements here. If we take a look at the briefing, we do have a bunch of objectives we need to recon and take. We need to clear this government complex. We need to take CP-105, CP-125, 110. Also take Objective Falcon, CP-117 and 130. And so that's, you know, quite a bit of ground to take. We don't have any other locations where our troops are on the map. We just kind of start on this one end here. So it's gonna be a bit of a challenge. It's a rather large map. We're going up against elements of a motorized rifle battalion for the Russians. Apparently this is amongst the first engagements between heavy U.S. and Russian forces in the campaign, and so that's something that we have to keep in mind. If we take a look here, if we go back to the menu and we pull up the briefing, what are our reinforcements going to look like? Friendly Forces Alpha Company is driven hard to block the Russian advance, and the troops are itching for a fight. A scout section is on point, supported by 1st Platoon, 3rd Platoon, and 2nd Platoon, are following in trace. Wouldn't it be in trail? The remainder of the company is moving behind 2nd Platoon. Okay, so I'm assuming we're getting reinforcements here. So we have some mortar platoons. We have some AH-64s for support. Don't really give me a good direction of what units. I kind of like when it actually lays out like in an OOB type scenario what we're getting here. 1 hour 20 minutes. You can see here. Okay, so here's where we've got initial support available. We've got some mortar platoons which are going to arrive as reinforcements. A 109 millimeter or M109 155 millimeter howitzer, some AH-62 or 64 Apaches, and a Shadow UAV. Reinforcements are going to be the 3rd Platoon of tanks, 1st Platoon rifle, and Rifle HQ and Rifle Company. That's at 12:10, 100 hours. The battle starts when? 12, so that'll be in about 10 minutes. So we'll have some reinforcements coming online in 10 minutes. I think for the moment it's mostly just sort of to scout things out and sort of see what we can see. Now, the map could load in a little bit better. It's again, this game engine's a little bit older. I think it actually looks better in the sort of treed environment in terms of graphically sort of appealing, as opposed to Shock Force 2, which is very, you know, desert and kind of not super interesting to look at. That being said, the trees could look better. They're very clearly dated 3D trees, but that's fine. The game's, you know, to me, the game is much more of a combined arms simulator and not so much graphics. The actual unit models, I feel like, are pretty well done. And so that's what we're kind of looking at here. So let's go ahead. We've got this Humvee on this other flank. I don't like that my troops are so spread out here, but we'll deal with it. I think this Humvee's going to try and cross some, what I think is some soft terrain. I think that dirt is kind of like mud. But we're going to try and get our Humvee to cross. I hate the idea of moving them across this open field. They're going to be horribly exposed. It does look like the terrain angles up, so at least they won't be exposed to fire from over by C-115 because they won't have line of sight on them. So we'll swing in here behind these buildings. This looks like a barrack complex, and behind this tree line, and see if we can't scout out the government complex. Presumably there's going to be a lot of enemy forces around. If we can get these scouts up on this, actually this hill might be interesting to deploy these scouts along, because this is kind of a dominating height on this map. You can see as we kind of come down to ground level, if we have some troops up like here, or that government complex specifically, we'll probably have some really good line of sight to call in artillery on any of the other objectives. So we do want to take that government complex. I'm going to assume that there's quite a few enemy troops there, however. So I'm going to leave my troops in their vehicles. We've issued the orders to the handful of troops that we have available. I don't want to call in any pre-planned artillery or anything like that because I don't really know what I'm shooting at. I'll just be wasting a lot of ammunition here. We do already have a UAV on the map, and then we do have the Paladin 155s, which have apparently about 120 rounds of HE, and then also 12 rounds of Excalibur HE and 12 rounds of Wily Pete. I'm not sure what Excalibur HE is. In any event, let's go ahead and start, and we'll go from there. You can see our Humvees are cruising. They're moving right away. Our first section HQ in our Bradley is moving, and our first reconnaissance vehicle over here is moving. Actually, we did just spot some shit, so we immediately got some line of sight on what looks like enemy infantry. The question is, who sees them? I think it's these guys, right? Yeah, they've got line of sight on something. So are they in a building? They're around this building by the looks of it, by CP 105, Command Post 105, I'm assuming. I don't really want to drive right up on them and get hit. What is this? Is this a spotter? No, this is a sniper team. So this scout platoon, could they call in some Paladin fire? Maybe some point fire? Do they have line of sight? Looks like they have line of sight on that. Also looks like there's a vehicle right next to that building. Go with 2 tubes. Medium intensity, short duration, general, immediate, confirm. It's going to take 3 minutes to start shooting. So I'm going to order these guys to immediately halt their movement. Alright, so they'll halt their movement. I'm very much a stop and hit them with artillery before you do anything else. So we're going to halt that movement and see if we can't call some arty down on those guys. So again, it is for sure, it looks like it's... Oh shit. Where's that artillery coming in? That's fucking fast. That's not me. I didn't order any artillery over here. I don't think that's me. Oh shit, they're engaged with that Jeep. I don't think they were spotting already. No, they're still receiving the orders. So who the hell called the artillery over on that complex? It's not me. I'm not shooting that. Someone else is.
Shot, over. Shot, out.
Is the AI calling artillery on where they think I am? Meanwhile, our you can hear the chain gun on this, or the, what is it, a 25 millimeter cannon here on this M3A3 shooting. It looked like we spotted some enemy infantry over here. They immediately opened up. These guys over here. All right, so there's our artillery. Our 155's starting to come in. Where's our Humvee, by the way? Humvee is retreating.
Shot. Over. Shot. Out.
I don't blame them for falling back. Oh, no, they're hit. They got hit. Enemy armor over here. Looks like they got knocked out. Enemy armor on this hill behind CP-117. One survivor by the looks of it. Looks like the scout team was wiped out. That's why I don't like advancing vehicles, even if it's like, oh, it protects your troops. It's like, well, not really. They just die.
Fire pro fix. Over.
All right, so we should have some reinforcements coming online here soon. I'm probably wasting my paladins.
Roger.
Seems like this is going to be a tough fight here. I need that armor though. I need my Abrams so I can clear that hill off in that direction. I don't want to get my my M3 up there. Does anybody know, like, is the Bradley really the M3? I thought it was the M2. I thought it was the M2A1 Bradley or something like that. Thing looks sick though. You got its tow missile launchers up here on the top. This 25 millimeter cannon there, and you can see all the explosive reactive armor on the front of it. All right, so I think we completed our. No, we didn't complete our shot. They fired 6 rounds. There's still more coming in. I don't know how accurate those damn things are. I don't see them. Oh, there's one directly into the top of the building. Now the guys shooting are not or the guys calling the artillery and are not technically artillery spotters. They're an HQ unit. Trying to bring the building down. I'm assuming there might be some bad guys in there. It is a 2-story building, so it's probably a good observation point. Let's move our half-track forward a little bit. I'm assuming if we move him in hunt, he'll move slowly. So someone is still shelling this building, this complex over here. It's definitely not my artillery. That guy's panicked, so I can't give him orders. Still a few minutes away from our reinforcements. I'll keep moving these guys forward a little bit. Waiting for that building to go down. I'm guessing if there's any enemy troops in there, they've already pulled back. But if that enemy vehicle didn't move, we for sure destroyed it, I would think. You can see the building is taking damage. It looks like the roof's gone. Buildings over here on the left have been destroyed. Shit. APS projectile intercepted. So it looks like the enemy must have shot like an RPG or an anti-tank guided missile at this thing. Our active protection system did intercept and destroyed the projectile on its way in. And then we fired some chain gun rounds. I wasn't even looking. Fired some chain gun rounds at whatever shot at us. Does it make us invincible? I'm guessing not. I'm guessing kinetic rounds are not intercepted by APSs, but I'm not as familiar with what they all can deal with. Still using this tree line for some protection. I think we'll send this section HQ into this building here on level 2. Unload them. They're going to hop out. You can see they're immediately spotting enemy infantry as they get out. So we just fired some chain gun rounds there. Our troops are chilling here. The troop models look pretty sweet too. Maybe they should be sprinting. Let's use some chain gun rounds here. I don't know if it's a chain gun, but we've got 1,000 25mm rounds. So we'll shoot into that vicinity. Oh, we took a casualty. One of our guys got hit just trying to move into this building. All right. So, our boy's probably a little bit shook up by that. Looks like that must be an enemy spotter. Listen, guys. Two can play at that game. We know you're in this building. Strike that damn target. 2, medium, short, general, immediate. Confirm. They may pull out before we're able to bring artillery down on them. This is sort of my tactic in counterinsurgency world. I don't have a lot of units to play with yet. Our reinforcements should be on the field soon. This guy's still shaking. Still just have this Humvee here, which is kind of not great. Let's move these guys up a little bit. I'd like to sprint them over to kind of support the troops we have in position here. So I'm gonna bring this Humvee into this tree line over here. Bring them around this water. Let's actually just sprint them the whole way. Not sure if there's still enemy troops in this building or not. They may have pulled out, but we're gonna try and call some arty down on them. Like government complex. I don't think I have any like rules of engagement that say I can't, you know, blow shit up. I know in Shock Force 2 we often had issues with that.
Roger. Fire mission request.
Where, you know, you couldn't blow up certain buildings. Probably could use that UAV to get some reconnaissance out here, actually.
Shot. Over. Shot.
All right, first round's in the air. We got the radio command that a shot is out, which means it's likely outgoing. Let's send the sniper up onto this roof. They won't have a lot of cover. That's the weird thing about this, in my opinion, is that the game doesn't really...
Plant. Over. Plant. Out.
That round was off quite a bit. I hope they correct that fire.
Shot. Over.
Another round coming out.
Shot. Out.
One of the things I think is really cool about this game is the way that it models sort of the spotting process and getting rounds on target, and sort of the, you know, you're not going to hit your target your first couple of shots. You're probably going to have to fire, adjust, and so that's something I really enjoy about sort of the process of watching this unfold. So you can see here that it was close in on the building, and then we got I don't know if you can hear, the audio's turned down on the game a bit, but then the radio command came through, fire for effect. So first shot, then they adjusted. That second shot was apparently close enough, and so now they're firing for effect. Meanwhile, our reinforcements should be on the field here soon, any minute, really. But I'm still not seeing anything. I can't engage enemy tanks with this force I have in place. Oh, reinforcements have arrived there. All right, firing for effect against that building. Second round there went directly into the roof there, so that's good. Where do these tanks show up? Are they all on the flank? Okay, no. So we've got quite a few. We'll go ahead and pause here for a sec. We've got quite a few units here. It looks like we've got 2 platoons of Abrams showing up here with their side skirts with reactive armor. It's interesting. They don't look like the typical reactive armor. So you can see we've got some Abrams here, and then we've got some... actually, these might be Bradleys over here. They are. Some Bradley. So we've got a company or a platoon of infantry on the left, and then we've got a platoon of armor here along this roadway. Question is, what's the best way to advance them? I mean, I can pretty safely move this armor up this road in the sense that we've already got troops up there, so there's no major risk to doing that. Or there shouldn't be. Set up behind that Bradley. I'd rather these guys kind of come in a concentrated position. Actually, well, I don't know if I want to split my force. Part of me says maybe we should try and get some overwatch on these CPs. Bring our Bradleys some support, but I don't want to advance my Bradleys in a way where they're going to get hit from enemy fire from long range like our Humvee did. So I think what we're going to actually do is we're going to move these Bradleys here, and the terrain is going to support a flanking maneuver through these woods, I think, better than trying to go up on this hill, which is very exposed, as we learned from the loss of our first unit, our first Humvee. Okay. Alright, so we'll get these units in motion. We could also try and bring some smoke down. You can see the artillery's crashing into that building where we knew at least at one point the enemy spotters were. This guy's trying to move through a fence. He's not making very good progress. So we'll see. I'm curious to see how this all plays out. I mean, this is you can already tell, it's a much higher threat environment than existed in Shock Force 2 in the sense that, we're dealing with peer military competitors. So what worked, for us in our German campaign in Shock Force 2, where we just kind of charged across open spaces on our APCs, rushed into towns, then let our troops go out while supporting them with heavy gunfire, that kind of maneuver warfare might work in this game, but you're probably going to deal with a lot more casualties if you're not a little bit more careful with how you move through the terrain, if you will. So we're bringing these guys up here. Really getting a lot of visuals on enemy troops here at this point. Again, I'm assuming this government complex is very full of enemy units. I want to clear the CP over here too, though, but I kind of feel like I might have to do it in tandem. Got one more APC back here, right? More artillery's coming down. I think that's enemy-called artillery. Or someone's shooting at something. Superstructure hit. We knocked out an enemy tank. Who did? One of my tanks, maybe? Whatever we knocked out, it's a 125 millimeter main gun tank, so you can see it smoking in the horizon. I didn't see our Abrams fire, but it's safe to assume that we did. The enemy looks like they're calling artillery, and it's a little bit off target. It's off center on us, so I think we're okay there. I'm going to get my other Bradley up. Yeah, this is an M2A3, so this is a Bradley. So what's the M3? Is it like just a different variant of the Bradley? They look pretty much the same. All right, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to unload these infantry, and I'm going to advance them into this complex opposite of the government complex under cover of my Bradleys from a distance. We'll try and take a position up there. Maybe we'll move one unit into the to the right, but it looks like the enemy is going to waste some artillery firing off to our left, so I want to let them do that. Let's actually move some troops into these houses here on our right. That's close enough to my armor over here to get some support. It must have been these tanks up here. See, this guy has 17. Yeah, so it was this tank right here. Alright, so our Bradley's taking some fire. Shit. Move under cover. Reactive armor's taking some small arms fire from this building over here. Our tank is engaging something in this building also. Actually, maybe you don't move there. Stay in this wood line. And so I think the right approach is going to be to advance these troops into this building complex, which the enemy already kind of, sort of flattened. Can we get... Do we have a spotter here? Fire support team. Alright. Give me... I want you to move here. I need to figure out where the best spot is for them to spot. Probably, actually, if we move this guy up onto this hill over to where this Abram is, then we'll get a little bit of a elevation advantage. Maybe we can unlimber those fire support guys. Alright, enemy looks like some small arms fire is ranging out over here. These might actually be mortar shots. Okay, guys, don't walk like that. You're gonna run. Get into that first story down there. It's a long run, but got to get you guys into some cover. We'll move two squads that way. We've got Bradleys nearby if we need to cover them. We also have what's left of that first vehicle moving into those buildings. Shit, top turret penetration. That Abrams is hit. Enemy artillery. Well, I guess that's why you don't just stay in place. So what? That tank disabled? Yeah, that tank's destroyed. I'm not very good at this. That's pretty clear. I just want to drive around slow and call in artillery, basically. Alright, AI, stop calling Artie down on me. Let's do this. Can you call... We don't have line of sight there. We have some line of sight, so let's do this. Let's call in area 3, heavy, medium, general, immediate, confirm. Alright, so we'll get one fire mission on over there. Where's this artillery coming in? Is it still on these Abrams up here? Or this formation up front? These guys are just chilling. They're just like, whatever. You didn't tell us to move yet. There, Abrams is engaging some of these troops. I really need some infantry to push forward there on the right, but all my infantry's on the left. Supposed to secure these government compounds. Let's move these Bradleys forward. So I think what I'm really trying to do at this point, guys, is I want to take the government complex on the left so then I can basically flank this enemy formation in the CP-105. But I'm taking so much artillery fire I really should pull these guys back. Meanwhile, we're engaging these enemy troops here in this building. Nice! Abrams just blasted something over here. You could see a round just crush into this building. Looks like it's an enemy headquarters formation. They've suffered quite a few casualties in there. Looks like I'm hearing what sounds like probably javelins. Waiting for our artillery to fire there as I'm moving some troops across this terrain and into formation. We'll lead an assault with 4 squads of infantry into the government complex. We'll swing these fighting vehicles out to support. Right now they're hunkering behind the buildings for cover. There's one of our spotting rounds coming in. I think my Abrams can actually provide some fire too, because the guy on top of this hill clearly put in a couple of rounds. Oh wait, we have more reinforcements that arrived. Jeez. Alright, well we're halfway through the damn battle and I'm not moving at all. I think I'm being a little bit too deliberate about this, so we'll have to see what I want to do with, now that I've got a bunch more infantry. It looks like another section of Bradleys have arrived. Maybe we push on through CP-105 a little bit more aggressively. Move our tanks forward here. We did have this one disabled tank. But we still have, what, 3 other Abrams? 4 other Abrams? Looks like 3 other Abrams. So we can leave one back to support the attack on the government compound, and then maybe drive the 3rd main battle tank. The platoon HQ's the one that got hit. That sucks. But we'll drive the other ones up, maybe up this road directly, and push with our armored formations. I'm not sure. This is tricky. I can't be as deliberate and risk tolerant, intolerant to risk as I normally play with this. But we'll see how that plays out. This is, again, just a first look, my first look at Black Sea. You can see I'm already suffering some growing pains, a little bit of a learning curve here for me fighting against a new type of adversary. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave your thoughts. Again, I know this is me learning on the job. So I've played Combat Mission, but I have not played I have not played Black Sea, which I think is very different than World War II in terms of the threat environment, and also is very different from Shock Force 2, where you're dealing with an inferior opponent. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave your thoughts down below, even if it means you telling me how much I sucked. And let me know if you want to see more of this, because I've got some plans on how to drive through this town, perhaps, quickly. But until next time, this is the Historical Gamer once again saying thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I'm out.